Hi, I'm Cameron, and it's a nice day out. It rained a little bit this morning. It's hot again. I don't know why it's so hot in September. I had to sleep with the fan on me in bed. It was cold, but not as cold as it was hot. I wish it wasn't hot. I don't like how hot it is. So there was that. I don't like how this is a really bad way to start. This is the bit we have going on today. It's like, let's just talk about the weather. It's hot. I'm uncomfortable with how hot it is. Um, I hope I hope everybody's doing good, as I always do. And today, I don't really know what I want to talk about specifically, but that's okay too. It's nice turning this camera on at least once or twice a week and going, I'm just gonna talk and see where it takes me. It's kind of like a journal in a way, almost. I mean, that's the purpose of a journal. You just like write your thoughts out. This big giant book I have right here that I need to write in more. Ever since I started making these, I haven't really written in it as much, since I feel like most of what I want to say is articulated here rather than in the context of a big book that nobody else is ever going to read, probably. If anybody else ever reads it, the police are probably going to have a lot of really funny questions for me. But so we're going to cross our fingers and hope that doesn't happen at some point. I did consider, I had a passing thought where I could take like my older journals that are finished and I could read through them in videos, since that's something I always thought was kind of fun to do, like have like an audio recording of it, like an audio book almost. So I might do that. If people are interested in that, I'd definitely do it. But I think I might just do it because it's fun. But recently I've just been spending a lot of time thinking about the steps that I need to take in order to prevent sadness from coming back, to prevent depression from actually getting in the way of things. And I know with the last video, a decent number of people reached out. Everybody always reaches out when I make a video. It's weird. If people could just like consistently always reach out, like in a normal healthy connection, like a normal healthy relationship, maybe I wouldn't need to make videos. It is kind of like a unfortunate catch-22 where it's like I make videos because I need an outlet, because I don't feel like I have enough of an outlet in other areas, and then through making those videos that enables that outlet to exist in the form of having my needs met in that way. That's not really a catch-22. I haven't read that book. I heard it was really funny from someone that I don't trust, so I imagine it's probably a very depressing book. But a decent number of people reached out with the last video and just gave some thoughts, gave some advice and stuff like that. And I always really appreciate that. So with that last video, I predominantly just have been thinking about how to avoid getting wet again. The way that I've always thought of it as being is that let's use a swimming pool for an example. That's where the being wet part comes from. When you're in a swimming pool, your entire body is engulfed in water. You're always perpetually in that state of being engulfed by what you're in, what you're a part of, what you're doing. That's who you are. So when you get out of the water, it's easy to think that like, oh, well, now I'm not like that anymore. Now I'm not in that position anymore. But that's not true. When you get out of the water, you're still wet. You still need time to dry off. So as long as you don't go back into the water, then you will eventually be dry again, and you'll no longer have anything lingering with that. But the problem with that is that in my case, I keep getting back into the water. And why is that? Why do I keep getting back into the water even though I don't want to be in the water? I want to be dry again. And that's because my circumstances don't enable me to live positively. They don't enable me to have the things that I want. I'm going to readjust the camera because that fan is like positioned to... That did not help. Okay, you're just gonna like be distracted by that above me the whole time. I have like I'm Inspector Gadget. This is the Inspector Gadget special. We're gonna talk about brown bricks and stuff like that. So my circumstances don't enable me to live positively. Even if I have a good mindset and I try to be positive and outgoing and more socially active and physically fit, if I'm surrounded by circumstances that actively work against me in trying to be that way, then I'm just going to end up getting wet again. It doesn't matter if I get out of the pool if there's always going to be someone standing there who likes shoving me back in and then seeing me start drown and get wet all over again. And that's the type of experience that I go through, where, take for example, if I want to try and be more socially active, it's like, hey, I might hit somebody up and be like, hey, let's go do this thing. And then they'll say no. Or we'll do the thing, they'll get sick of it after 5 minutes and then just want to go back to doing the thing that they always do every single time. There's no give and take. There's no compromise. There's no meeting halfway. It's always just do the thing that they want to do, but then they're never supportive towards you in the way that you feel would be equal for how supportive you are towards them. It's like learning, it's like your friend really liking Yu-Gi-Oh! Or any other card game or something like that, and then you going out of your way, you, not me, I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is okay, I just don't like it. You going out of your way to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For your friend because they like that, and you put the effort in to get to know them better. But then let's say that you want to play like Magic the Gathering or something like that, or football, right? And you're like, hey man, let's try this together. You know, we're gonna do something together as friends. And they're like, you know, this is pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know. And then, even just giving this example right now, I understand better why I think I struggle so much with that negativity and getting out of the pool, as per se, is because that's the brunt of my experience. That's the brunt of the people that I interact with, where I might be like, hey, I really want to go bowling. I don't like bowling, but I really want to go bowling. Let's go bowling. And they're like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Whatever. You know, that feels bad. It feels like people don't really want to encourage the things that you actually care about. They just want to keep being content around what they want. And I'm not saying that if you're friends with somebody, you have to force yourself to like the same things as them. It's just that there's a difference between being supportive of somebody and then bringing them down with you, where it's like if you're in a relationship with somebody and they always love going out on the weekends and you always love staying inside, if you stay inside every single weekend, you shouldn't be surprised if your significant other doesn't want anything to do with you after a while, because the life that you live actively impedes the life that they want to live. And if we're supposed to be selfish, if we're supposed to take care of ourselves, then it's perfectly logical to make a decision where even if you don't necessarily dislike someone, let alone hate them, that you'd want to gradually suspend contact with them over a period of time, because it's just not healthy to be around them. There doesn't necessarily have to be a negative connotation associated with that. It's just simply a matter of needing to do the things that you want to do because that's what makes you happy. It's the difference between, like, let's go back to that example again with the bowling alley, right? If I really love bowling and none of my friends like bowling and they like tell me how lame I am for liking bowling, then should I keep hanging out with those people who actively make me feel bad for enjoying what I want to enjoy, or should I go and make friends with people who play bowling? It's kind of what it is, you know? And for me, I feel like where I want to be in life and the objectives that I have would require me to be in a place where there aren't any pools, to be in a place where there isn't any water. I would, you know, die of dehydration if there wasn't any water. I'll say acid. It's a pool of acid. Water's nice. It feels good. It's cool, especially when it's so hot out, like I mentioned earlier. A pool of acid. You are burning alive in that pool of acid. It is not fun. It sucks. It smells bad too. I need to go somewhere where there's no acid. Because if I have friends who love swimming around in acid every single day, that's going to trickle down on me. That's going to start affecting me. And then it doesn't matter if I'm standing on the edge of the pool of acid while everybody else is splashing each other around and stuff, because I'm still near the pool of acid. I'm still going to look at that pool of acid and, like, gaze into the abyss, and I'm going to go, I should just jump into the pool of acid. Everybody else is doing it. It doesn't matter how strong your willpower is. If you're in a circumstance where you are actively forced into doing something that you don't want to do for the sake of belonging, you are going to buckle from the pressure to some extent. You are going to be more negative as a reflection of the circumstance that you're dealing with. And in my case, my circumstances are just bad. They're just not conductive towards me. I mean, I'm not like... there's people dying in Africa. I'm not saying that, like, oh no, my life is so awful or anything like that. It's all relative. It's all relative. I don't get mad at rich people for having a lot of money. That doesn't make me a better person. And I don't compare the suffering that I experience on a day-to-day basis to those who are starving to death in the streets or don't have houses or don't have running water or anything like that, because that invalidates the way that I feel on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, if I was starving to death, that would be a problem. Yes. But there's a big old pyramid of needs, I'm not going to say the word hierarchy because I always pronounce it wrong, and people are like, he said hierarchy wrong, get a load of this guy, and then the whole conversation just derails from there. But if I'm in a position right now where that societal need, that need for affection and emotion and genuine interaction with other people isn't being met because of where I'm at right now, then I need to figure out a way to get out of there. I don't want to die. I just don't want to live this life. There was a quote from a therapist I watched on YouTube one time. I don't like therapy. I think I've mentioned that before. I think it's a crock. If it helps you, great, keep doing it. But it's not really conductive towards me. At least. It's fine. But there was this therapist that I watched on YouTube at one point where he said something along the lines of, most of the people I work with aren't stupid. They're very smart, intelligent people. It's not that they want to die. It's that their life is genuinely not worth living anymore. And for me, in the environment that I'm in right now, in my own circumstances, I don't feel like my life is worth living. Asterisk, I'm fine. I'm not gonna do anything. I don't need to get a phone call from somebody at 3 a.m. being like, I'm here. You don't do it. That's not what I'm saying. And this is where part of the frustration comes in. The fact that I need to put a disclaimer like that. Because there are going to be people who watch this, I hope. Please watch the video. Please like and subscribe. Please. But there are people who I know who watch these videos and they reach out to me and they're like, are you okay? What's wrong? And I don't feel, based off of anything that I've said at any point of these videos whatsoever, I have ever made any statements that are indicative like I'm going to do something, because I'm not going to do anything that's going to, negatively affect me in one way or another. That's dumb. The purpose of this is to be a better person. The purpose of this is that self-improvement and being able to share that with other people and see how the act of myself being more genuine and trying to be more outgoing is reaching people and having that positive impact is the point. So I wouldn't do anything that is bad flat out. And I think that's a fundamental problem with the discussion about mental health and mental well-being, is that it's considered such a taboo subject. I can't even say certain words in regards to it because I'd risk this video getting marked or something like that, which is ridiculous. I can tell you one thing right now, as someone who has a big, giant, worthless piece of paper that says I went to college for 4 years to study psychology, talking about these problems does not increase the likelihood that somebody is going to do anything. Talking about these problems does not necessarily indicate that a person is going to go through with it. No point of like my body language or my vocal language or anything like that is reflective of somebody who is going through something. Now, that's just because I'm not going through anything at this specific moment, because I'm doing fine, because I'm talking. It feels good. I got some plans. Gonna play some Space Marine 2 with a friend of mine a little bit. I might do a review on that. That's fun. I like making reviews. They just all got taken down because I didn't feel like they were very good. I might try that again. I might even just do this. I might even just sit down and talk about it. You know, I mean, I like just talking. It's nice having that outlet where I can just express myself and I don't feel like I need to censor myself. And then if I put that out there and people have video evidence of what I'm saying, then I don't run into a situation where people just make up what I said. They don't change, like, well, you said this. And it's like, no, I didn't. Go watch the video. I literally didn't say that. That's cool. I like that. And then I can watch it myself later. It's funny because there are times where I will click on one of these videos and I'll just have it up for a second and I will be listening to myself talk and I'll kind of forget that I'm the one who's talking just because I don't know. I have no brain or something. I got no bumps on my head or something like that. But there will be times where it's just on the background. I'll forget who I'm listening to, and I'll go, man, this guy makes some good points. And I'm like, oh wait, that's me. It's funny. I like that a lot. But to tie that back into what I was saying about that, if I'm in an environment where I say, I'm sad and I want to be better, I want to live healthier, and I want to help people, and I want to be happier, if I'm in an environment where I say something like that, and these are real examples, the default response is, well, I just want to die, or, well, you should go see a therapist, then that's not helpful. That's not helpful. I was talking to somebody. I went out of my way to reach out to somebody who said I can reach out to them whenever I need to. I was like, I should trust people. I should put myself out there and I should just try to be vulnerable a little bit and be open about things because that's how we get better. We have to work together to get better. So I reached out to this person and I talked with them about a big problem I had been having, and it was really hard to talk about for me. It was really difficult to put myself out there like that. And I was talking about it with this person for a little while. It was half an hour or so. And they said to me, I think you really need to talk to somebody about this. That's what we've been doing for the past 30 minutes. We were talking about it. I thought you said we could talk. There is a person that I am not friends with anymore because I don't remember who they were. There's nothing up here. The only thing that's up here is obscure Sonic facts, like Sonichu being redesigned as Big the Cat. That's a deep cut right there. But I respected them because I reached out to them one time and they just flat out said Cameron, I'm not equipped to deal with this. You need to go talk to a professional or something like that. I can't help you. I was like, cool, thanks. I appreciate that answer more than somebody patronizing me for an extended period of time. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate people who try to help. I'm not saying that. They have good intentions. It's just that if you saw somebody bleeding out in the street, would you go over to them and do first aid? This example is not for those of you who know how to do first aid, obviously. I don't need any firemen in the comments being like, well, yes, actually, it's a simple procedure. I would just take my shirt off and I'd wrap it around there. No, I'm not talking about you. If you are an untrained individual and you saw somebody bleeding out in the street, would you run over and try to stop the bleeding? I mean, I probably would just because I want to help, but you'd call the police. You'd call an ambulance. You'd call a professional who can help. And it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of how mental health works, where if you see somebody who has, you, not me, if you see somebody who has mental health problems and you say to them, I'm always here for you, you can come to me whenever you need, that's like telling somebody with a broken arm that they can come to your house at any time and you can stint it for them when you don't know how to do that. That's like telling somebody who had their hand cut off in a sawmill that they can come to your house and you can sew it back on for them. If a person uses language like, I'm always here for you, you can talk to me whenever you need, to somebody who has the mental equivalent of a sawed-off hand or a broken arm, that is just as bad as not helping them, in my opinion. And somebody's like punching the walls right now. I don't know if that like... What is that? I hope that's getting picked up on the audio. That's like scary. It's like a ghost or something. I'm gonna investigate that. You can stay right there for a millisecond. I'll be right back. Okay. It wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a ghost. You can see my full body Abelskieber shirt with like authentic syrup stain on it that I didn't know was there. But if a person uses that type of language to somebody who's suffering from the mental equivalent of a broken arm, that's just as bad as not helping them, in my opinion. Because you are offering somebody a platform to assist in fixing their problem, but then providing no safety for that, providing no throughway. It's like going to a doctor's office and them saying, we're going to assign you a primary care provider and get this problem taken care of. And then the hospital's closed the next day. It's like, well, I guess they weren't always there for me then. I guess they didn't like, you could talk to me whenever you need to. I'm always here to help. And then you talk about it, and that problem doesn't get solved. It doesn't get assisted. It doesn't get taken care of. Now, that's something that I've really struggled with coming to understand, to realize that you as an individual, I paused for a second there, I thought I heard somebody coming in. There's like supposed to be like a bug guy coming to look at the bugs in every apartment, but that was like an hour ago, so I think they're just not going to do it. Whenever my apartment says they're going to do... Does anybody else have that? Whenever my apartment says they're going to do something, they just don't do it. Like, we're going to be coming around to inspect things, and they just never do it. So are they doing it, or is it just like specific buildings and like specific rooms and they're just... Whatever. It's besides the point. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. So, essentially, if you need help, then go and see a professional, obviously. I really lost my train of thought there. It's like completely gone now. 100%. I was building towards something that was like really divine and profound, and like it's legitimately just like all gone now. But because the camera's still rolling, I have to just keep doing. I just do these in like one take. If I mess up at any point, I never like pause it and like undo it or edit it or anything like that. Like I said, if there was a script, it wouldn't feel as genuine, and I want it to feel genuine. I don't want it to feel like it's scripted. There's a lot of bumps in the night, even though it's like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. A lot of bumps. But it's like telling somebody that you don't appreciate a joke that they made and then laughing and then continuing on. That's the type of environment that I'm in, where I don't need bad advice from people who don't have the right things to say to fix my situation. I remember what I was talking about. Oh, we are back. We are so back. It's something that I've really struggled a lot with as I get older and realizing things, that a person can't 100% do everything by themselves, but at the same time, they can't live their life clinging to other people. I think I even made this point in an earlier video, possibly. But if somebody says, I'm always here for you, you can talk to me whenever you need, a person can't use that. Like, they can't go to that person for literally everything. They have to be able to take care of themselves. And in my case, it's like I can take care of myself for everything that I have to do by myself, but whenever something happens where I can't do it by myself and I reach out, I don't have the support group for that. I have people who push me into the pool of acid, and when I go, guys, this really isn't funny, I want to get out of the pool of acid, they're like, oh, Cameron, he's so funny. The acid's so funny. It's like that one episode of Boondocks where Gangstalicious got shot, and he was like, I got shot, and the audience was like, oh, I got shot. He's like, no, really, I got shot. Like, no, really, I got shot. It's like that. It's like I'm sitting there and I'm saying, guys, I need help, and I got shot. And it's like, oh, Cameron, you're always so funny. So, I don't know if I just need to move to a different apartment for a change of scenery. I don't know if I need to move to a different state, move to a different country, or something like that. But what I do understand now at this point is that even if I start to develop healthy habits, if I'm standing in a room where there are people who like seeing me get shoved into a pool of acid, who, if they're having a bad day, they will just shove me in the pool of acid and say, why did you fall into the pool of acid? Then it doesn't matter how healthy my life is. It doesn't matter how positive I am. It doesn't matter that I make YouTube videos to try and make myself feel better or anything like that. All of the positivity in the world can't beat being shoved into a pool of acid. My skin's just gonna burn off, and that sucks. I don't like that. I don't like falling into the pool of acid or anything like that. I want to live in a place where there are no pools of acid for me to get shoved into. And with this Japan trip coming up in about 2 weeks now, it's crazy. I've wanted to go my whole life, and now it's genuinely finally happening. I really like to think I'm going to get clarity on some things. And I'm not going to talk about it yet specifically because the trip hasn't happened yet. And I don't like talking about things unless they're already taken care of. I already mentioned that I wanted to write a book, and that's like already a mistake. If you ease up on that internal pressure, if you talk about the things, that like lessens that burden. And if you're needing to do things, if you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to improve, talking about that lessens the burden of wanting to do it. It's the difference between thinking to yourself, I have to go for a run today, and then the day prior telling your friend about how cool the run you're going to go on tomorrow is. That has the same mental impact on you that going for the run itself does. The human brain's really messed up like that, where like empathy is like baked into our heads in a way, whereas seeing somebody else do something is the same thing as doing it ourselves to an extent. Not literally, obviously, but it's the reason why if you watch a clip of basketball and you see somebody dunk, you feel good. Because it's like you're dunking it. Now, I'm terrible at basketball, so I see a clip like that and I just think, man, I don't like basketball. But that's besides the point. That's about everything that I had to talk about today. I tried going for a hike recently with some people, and that didn't go the greatest, but I'm going to try and go again. Might just be by myself or something like that, but I found a really nice hiking trail. It's just kind of far away, and since I don't have a car, I need to walk 2 miles to then walk like 5 miles, and then I'd have to walk back. So that's a bit of a undertaking, but I do want to do it. So I might give that another try. And then just generally working towards being ready to go to Japan. I don't mean that as like a mental preparation thing. I mean that as in, I don't know how I'm going to survive being on an airplane for 15 hours straight because I hate flying. It sucks. I really hate flying. Being 6'2" makes flying really suck a lot. I know somebody, or I used to know somebody who was like 6'5". I think they would die if they had to sit in the same spot I was at. I'm pretty sure my head was already touching against the ceiling. That guy must hate flying. Wonder where he is. I should just like look up sometime. Maybe I'll find him. Either way, I hope you're having a nice day. I always appreciate all the comments and everything like that. It makes me really happy when people say that I'm nice to listen to, and I like seeing stuff like that. I mean, somebody commented on the last video being like, "Oh, I love Cave Story. It's like my favorite game on the Wii," and that's cool, you know. I mean, I mentioned that in passing, and then somebody can like, I didn't like mark the video as like I played Cave Story, whoa, or anything like that, and yet just by openly expressing myself and being myself in that way, that enables more. That enables a higher likelihood of figuring things out and having those positive interactions. It opens yourself up to negativity, but, you know, I mean, just because the pool of acid is there doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fall into it. And eventually, maybe I'll get the courage to walk away from that pool of acid so I can stop being shoved into it. It's a very simple thing to say out loud, but in practice I find it quite difficult. There's already some pools of acid that I'm not near anymore, so I have the potential to change myself. I can be a better person. I can change. I can't change who I am, but I can become the best version of myself. I'm not perfect, but nobody else is. I don't need to be perfect. I'm human. So as long as I keep trying to be perfect and I work towards being the best version of myself, then things will work out. And even just being able to make these videos, being able to speak freely, say what I want to say, that is a step in the process to becoming the version of myself that I want to be. And I might say something like that in every one of these videos, but I don't care because I like saying it. It feels good to say that. And maybe if I can keep expressing myself in this way, and I can write in this dang tome that I keep on my desk more, then I won't need to cling to other people. I won't need to let the people who are like, I'm always here for you, man. You can talk to me whenever you want, who don't answer their phone, don't respond to text messages, and then tell me just to get a therapist or something like that. I'll be able to take care of myself. And then I can focus on the people who do care about me. That's something I think everybody should do. This is your homework. This is your homework. There better be a teacher showing this to their kids in the classroom right now. There better be. I'm saying this because I know teachers. You better do it. It's cool. Just skip over the part where if I accidentally swore or something like that. Don't show that to the kids. They don't need to hear that. This is your homework. This is your homework. If you have a friends list or like Snapchat or like a Telegram account or something like that, Discord, whatever. If you have any type of friends list right now, I want you to go and open that friends list, scroll through it, and remove anyone that you have a negative thought about, anybody that, like, you look at them and you're like, I don't really want to hang out with them. Anyone that makes you feel bad, anyone that you just kind of know you're not necessarily like friends with or anything like that. I did that. I cut that friends list of like 30 people down to like 2 people. I tell you what, felt a lot better. I didn't just lie in bed scrolling looking for somebody to message for no reason. I can just focus on that 2 people, and I can just go, yeah, they believe in me. They got my back. They care about me. And focusing on what really matters instead of worrying about the people in your life who want to shove you into pools of acid, that's good. That helps you. And go for walks. Just go for a walk. Drink water. Don't drink soda. If you're watching this right now and you got like a Pepsi or something on your desk, you're a loser. You don't drink that. That's bad for you. I'm sorry. Saying loser was really harsh. I wanted to get the point across. Don't drink that. It's like me and eating pizza all the time. I eat pizza. I'm a loser. I feel like a loser whenever I eat pizza. It tastes good though. I just gotta stop doing it. Maybe you just gotta stop drinking soda. I don't know. All right, this video is done. I have nothing else to say. Have a nice rest of your day, and I will see you next time. A good.